The mega merger of the cellular century has taken another step closer to fruition as the Department of Justice has now given its approval of the merger between Sprint and T-Mobile. Hi, I'm Chris with the Mobile Internet Resource Center, here to give you a major update on the long pending merger between Sprint and T-Mobile that would elevate the new T-Mobile to be a really solid rival to AT&T and Verizon on the U.S. cellular market. So what's going on? What's up with this merger? If you haven't been paying attention, this has been brewing for years, and the latest iteration of this merger happened last April when Sprint and T-Mobile announced they were engaged. They were really going to had a deal worked out, and they were going forward with this. But a deal like this does require a lot of buy-in at the government level. So just recently, the FCC at last gave approval for the merger, and the big holdup left was the Department of Justice and the Department of Justice Antitrust Division. And just this week, the Department of Justice and 5 states announced that they have worked out terms with T-Mobile and Sprint that will let them see this merger go forward. Now, we're not out of the woods yet because there's still several states that are objecting, and the judges do need to approve on the final terms. But this latest development is a major milestone towards this merger happening. So what was this deal that the Department of Justice worked out? And, well, it actually involves a Dish network. So the concern that the government has had is that bringing Sprint and T-Mobile together would leave the U.S. with just 3 dominant cellular carriers, and we'd be losing that 4-way competition, which they consider essential for the market. So they've brokered a deal where Sprint and T-Mobile are going to enable Dish Network to become that new 4th player. So they'll become a big new third place player in the market, and they're going to then pass on some of their brands and their spectrum and everything else to Dish Network to help Dish Network launch. In specific, all of Sprint's prepaid businesses are going to become part of Dish Network. So that's Boost Mobile, Virgin Mobile, and Sprint Prepaid. All of those customers, all of those stores, all of those brands are going to Dish if this deal consummates. And then, well, Dish is starting from scratch. They need to build a cellular network. They have a lot of spectrum they've been buying over the years, but they really haven't started building towers to do anything with it. So Sprint and T-Mobile are going to be selling Dish LTE Band 26. This is Sprint's longest range 800 megahertz spectrum. And they're going to then work together, and actually Dish is going to have a 7-year partnership / roaming agreement so that Dish will be able to roll out service nationwide using Sprint and T-Mobile's network as a backbone without having to build their own towers first. So they'll have 7 years to ramp up on their own. There's a lot of other back and forth and side to side of this deal to all make this happen, but the end result is, if this does get finally approved, Sprint and T-Mobile will be a big dominant major cellular carrier going into the 5G era. They'll have a great set of spectrum. They'll be really on equal footing for the first time with AT&T and Verizon. And Dish, well, they'll have a big head start to starting from nowhere to jumping into the market. How is this actually going to matter? What is going to happen? Are prices going to go up? Are prices going to go down? What's this going to do to the competition? There are a lot of very valid arguments to be made on all sides of this issue of whether this merger is good for consumers or not. T-Mobile has promised to lock in prices for current customers and not raise prices for 3 years if the merger is approved, and they forecast that prices long-term will go down. Of course, a lot of people are worried that, well, with less competition at the high end of the market, maybe prices will go up. T-Mobile and Sprint say that this is essential for them rolling out 5G nationwide, and it does give them a really great foundation to roll out 5G nationwide, and they're making big promises that they're going to cover upwards of 95% of the population within just a few years with 5G, thanks to the synergies of this merger. So a lot of interesting stuff happening. This is a major step, but it is still not a done deal. There are several states that have filed suit to stop this. Now that the Department of Justice and some states are officially on board, maybe the momentum will build and some of those states will stop their lawsuits, or there'll be further concessions from Sprint and T-Mobile to make this happen, or it might still all collapse in the end. This is kind of big major reshaping of the entire cellular industry happening right in front of us, and we will continue to watch it closely and share all the developments here and at the Mobile Internet Resource Center.
These videos are brought to you by our premium members, our mobile internet aficionados. They make it possible for us to track this news and create these videos. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, leave a comment, subscribe to our channel, or better yet, consider becoming a member yourself.